Good morning, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Okay. Uh, do you, today, and do you have any presentations? Are you ready for the presentations? Anyone group? Or you want to present it next week or coming week? I think you'll today maybe you don't have and that's why I'll start from this topic. आजदेखि यो topic सुरु गर्दैछु. Okay. Public finance. आज जाउँ एकछिन पढौँ अनि अटेन्डेन्स गर्छु. अनि अलमोस्ट हामी क्वाइट के भन्छ लास्टतिरको साइडमा छ है. अब हामी धेरै छ, त्यही भएर थोरै हामी पढ्दै पनि जानुपर्छ है. अनि वेट फर अ वाइल अटेन्डेन्स गर्छु and then after we'll start our class. All of you guys, be ready for the attendance. Get ready for the attendance. Alex Vista,
Yes, sir.
Archana,
Present, sir.
Ashish,
Yes, sir.
Dipesh, Ivan, Jeju, Marina, Ninju, Nishan, Ojashwi, Prakriti,
Present, sir.
Prasamsa, Praveen,
Present, sir.
Ramon, Ratna, Rebison,
Present, sir.
The Beach.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Rivaj, Ronin, Saksham, Selena, Charisma,
Yes, sir.
Shekhar,
Present, sir.
Smith, Swaroop,
Sir Smith नहीं present.
okay, Swaroop, Ines,
Present, sir.
okay. Okay, public finance. Today's topic is public finance. Public simply refers to the government. हामीले बुझ्ने पब्लिक, द टर्म पब्लिक विच इज क्वाइट डिफ्रेन्ट है. हामी जे कुराले बुझ्छ नि त्यो होइन कि कुरो बुझिरहेको छ है. जेनरली वी थट द्याट कि पब्लिक भन्ने बित्तिकै वी जेनरल पब्लिक होइन, हामी जनता यस्तरी बुझिरहेको हुन्छ कि. बट हियर पब्लिक फाइनेन्स सिम्पली रिफर्स टु द गभर्मेन्ट फाइनेन्स के. पब्लिक फाइनेन्स भन्ने के रहेछ भन्दाखेरि कि गभर्मेन्ट फाइनेन्स हो यो भन्ने. इन्फ्याक्ट बुझ्यो नि. पब्लिक एक्सपेन्डिचर भन्यो भने गभर्मेन्ट एक्सपेन्डिचर. Public revenue simply refers to the government revenue होइन. These are the different issues. आज हामी यो कुराहरू गर्छौँ. बुझ्यो नि. Now public finance हेर न, the task of economic stabilization requires keeping the economy from straying too far or above or below a path of steady high employment from the well like inflation and other like recession, flexible and resilient, hold the narrow middle courses. US president US प्रेसिडेन्टमा पनि यो सेकेन्ड प्रेसिडेन्ट है, जोन अफ क्यानेडीको कुरा आउँछ यहाँनिर। युएस प्रेसिडेन्ट जोन अफ क्यानेडीको कुरा है त। जोन अफ क्यानेडी यसरी हामीले बुझ्नुपर्छ। यो चाहिँ उसको स्टेटमेन्ट मात्र। अब यहाँदेखि हामी सुरु गर्छौँ। कन्सेप्ट अफ पब्लिक फाइनान्स भनेर सुरु गर्छ क्या। जस्तो पब्लिक फाइनान्स इज a study of income and expenditure of the government. Simply, public finance simply refers to the income and expenditure of the government at the central government, at the state government, and the local government. The income and expenditure of local government, state government, and central government is called public finance or government finance. बुझ्यो नि? अब यहाँ त the government has to perform certain functions. वास्तवमा के हुन्छ थाहा छ? हाम्रो देशमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्छ भनेदेखि गभर्मेन्टको फङ्सन्सहरू चाहिँ अलिकति डिफरेन्ट छ कि। गभर्मेन्ट हेज टु फङ्सन सर्टेन फङ्सन्सहरू हुन्छ कि। जस्तो हाम्रोमा अलिकति के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि डिफरेन्ट फङ्सन्सहरू छ। र हाम्रो गभर्मेन्टले के गर्छ भन्दा उल्टो उल्टो फङ्सनिङ गरिरहेको हुन्छ क्या हाम्रो गभर्मेन्ट। बुझ्यो नि कुरा होइन? उल्टो कुन सेन्समा मैले भन्न खोजेँ? हाम्रोमा गभर्मेन्टले पहिला आफै रक्सी बेच्थ्यो, त्यो नेसनल ट्रेडिङ कर्पोरेसन भन्छ नि, त्यहाँबाट आफै रक्सी बेच्थ्यो पहिला। अनि आफै रक्सी बेच्थ्यो अनि बाहिर फेरि आफै मापसे भन्ने समाउँछ क्या। यस्तो खालको कन्सेप्ट छ क्या। अनि दिज आर द कन्डिसन्स क्या। आफै रक्सी बेच्ने, आफै मापसे भन्ने समाउने होइन। अनि अर्को यस्तो थुप्रै केसेसहरू छ कि नर्मली अरू हामीले के गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि यस्तो कुराहरू भइरहेको हुन्छ कि। अनि अरू पनि होइन, गभर्मेन्टको काम भने के? अकर्डिङ टु अघि मैले के भने थोमस जेफरसन, सेकेन्ड प्रेसिडेन्ट अफ युएस, अकर्डिङ टु हिम the functions of government are life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. गभर्मेन्टको फङ्सन भन्ने के हो त? लाइफ, लिबर्टी एन्ड द पर्स्युट अफ ह्याप्पिनेस हो कि। यसलाई नै हामीले के भन्छ? फङ्सन्स अफ गभर्मेन्ट भन्छ है त। लाइफ, लिबर्टी एन्ड द life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. These are the main functions. लाइफ भन्ने के? हाम्रो इन्डिभिजुअल फ्रिडम दिनु पर्यो, सेक्युरिटी हुनु पर्यो, रुल्स एन्ड रेगुलेसन हुनु पर्यो। यो हो कि मेन कुराहरू है। यसलाई हामी के फङ्सन्स यो हाम्रो चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले के गर्छ? एक मिनट है, पकाइ छोरी एक मिनट। Okay, sorry for that. हामी यहाँ हेरिरहेको थियौँ र पब्लिक फाइनेन्स भनेको रहेछ त जस्तो अब हेर न गभर्मेन्ट हेज टु पर्फर्म सर्टेन फङ्सन्स हाम्रो गभर्मेन्टले यस्तो फङ्सन गरेको छ जस्तो लाग्यो तिमीलाई केही पनि गर्दैन क्या हेर हाम्रो गभर्मेन्ट उल्टो उल्टो काम गर्छ आफ्नै पोलिटिक्सलाई के गरिरहेको हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि होइन आफ्नै कुर्सी जोगाउने काम मात्र गर्छ आफूले नै उयो मात्र गरिरहेको हुन्छ होइन यस्तो खालको कन्डिसन छ क्या पब्लिक फाइनेन्स भनेको वास्तवमा जुन अब गभर्मेन्ट हेज टु पर्फर्म सर्टेन फङ्सन्स त्यसको लागि के हुन्छ गभर्मेन्टलाई इन्कम चाहियो गभर्मेन्टले खर्च गर्नु पर्यो होइन र यही केसलाई नै हामी के भन्छ पब्लिक फाइनेन्सको कुरा गर्छ क्या गभर्मेन्ट हेज टु फङ्सन सर्टेन फङ्सन इन अ कन्ट्री such as to supply the certain public and collective goods which individual cannot or do not sanely perform. जस्तो हामीले के ड्रिङ्किङ वाटर कर्पोरेसन त गभर्मेन्टले पार्नुपर्ने होइन र ड्रेनेजको फेसिलिटी त गभर्मेन्टले गर्नुपर्ने होइन र बाटो बनाउने काम त गभर्मेन्टले गरिदिनु पर्ने होइन र यो त इन्डिभिजुअलले गर्ने कुरा त होइन होइन यस्तो कुराहरूको लागि यस्तोको लागि होइन यो त गभर्मेन्टको रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी हो कि टु प्रोभाइड दोज गुड्सहरू फर विच इट निड्स रेभिन्यू भनेपछि त्यसको लागि पनि त गभर्मेन्टलाई पैसा त चाहिन्छ गभर्मेन्ट निड्स रेभिन्यू हो यस्तरी गभर्मेन्टले जुन रेभिन्यूहरू कलेक्सन गर्छ त्यसलाई नै हामीले यस्तो कुराहरू हुन्छ विच इट निड्स रेभिन्यूको कुराहरू भइदिएर ओके अब फेरि हेर न another कन्सेप्टमा in the narrow sense public finance is defined only as the study of income and expenditure of the government but the broader view is that public finance does not deal only with the income and expenditure of the government but also sources of income and the way of expenditure of various governments corporations, public companies, and quasi-governmental ventures. थाहा छ प्रवीणहरूले लास्ट टाइम बजेटको प्रेजेन्ट गराएको थियो हुँदैन त्यो बेलामा हेरेर त त्यहाँनिर उनीहरूले त सर र सेन्ट्रल गभर्मेन्टको मात्र बजेट बनाएको थियो सेन्ट्रल गभर्मेन्ट लिएर प्रत्येक स्टेटहरूलाई पनि काइन्ड अफ बजेट छुट्याइदिएको हुन्छ प्रत्येक लोकल बडिजहरूलाई गभर्मेन्टले बजेट छुट्याइदिएको हुन्छ होइन यस्तो कुराहरू हुन्छ कि त्यही बेसमा त्यही लोकल बडिज त्यही कन्सेप्टमा के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि अब त्यही बेसमा गभर्मेन्टले लोकल बडिज सबै कुराहरू छुट्याइदिइरहेको हुन्छ अनि यसरी छुट्याइसकेपछि के हुन्छ त गभर्मेन्टले यसरी नै पाउँछ यो अनि गभर्मेन्टले त्यहाँ उनीहरूले लोकल बडिजले पब्लिक कम्पनीजहरूले होइन देन आफ्टर कोही गभर्मेन्टल भेन्चर भनेको यु नो द्याट के भन्नु खोजेको भने कोही गभर्मेन्टल भेन्चर भन्ने चाहिँ कस्तो भन्छु भनेदेखि यो चाहिँ नि कोइसी भनेको हामी यसलाई हाफ भन्छ कि नेपालीमा भनेको अर्ध सरकारी भन्छ नि हामी डु नो हेभ यु हर्ड द्याट टर्मिनोलोजी अर्ध सरकारी भन्छ नि द्याट्स द के भयो त भन्दा कोही गभर्मेन्टल भेन्चर्सहरू हो दिज आर द डिफ्रेन्ट कन्सेप्ट के भएर यसलाई नै हामी के भन्छ यो कोही गभर्मेन्टल भेन्चर्सहरू भयो होइन हामी हेरेर त भेरियस गभर्मेन्ट कर्पोरेसन्सहरू लाइक नेपाल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अथोरिटिज अनि नेपाल ओइल कर्पोरेसन पब्लिक कम्पनीजहरू भनेको त्यही नेपाल एयरलाइन्सहरू होइन यिनीहरूको एक्सपेन्डिचर पनि के हुन्छ द्याट अल्सो कम्प्राइजेज होइन इनसाइड द पब्लिक फाइनेन्स यो पब्लिक फाइनेन्सभित्रै पर्ने कुराहरू यिनीहरू बुझ्यो कुरा द्याट्स द केस ओके अब हामी यहाँसम्म त हामीले हेऱ्यो होइन अब फेरि अब नाउ सी पब्लिक फाइनेन्सको कन्सेप्टमै छौँ हामी पब्लिक फाइनेन्स इज कम्पोज्ड अफ द फलोइङ कन्स्टिट्युन्ट्स पब्लिक एक्सपेन्डिचर पब्लिक रेभिन्यू एन्ड पब्लिक डेट वास्तवमा बजेटमा पनि अस्ति मैले त्यही भएर तिमीलाई बजेट प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्न लागेको थिएँ कि पब्लिक रेभिन्यू पब्लिक के भयो त एक्सपेन्डिचर्स अनि पब्लिक डेटको कुराहरू भयो कि पब्लिक एक्सपेन्डिचर पब्लिक रेभिन्यू एन्ड पब्लिक डेट यस्तोलाई नै हामी के भन्छ पब्लिक फाइनान्सको कुरा गर्छ है। अब न एक्सपेन्डिचर भने के पर्छ त गभर्मेन्टले कहाँ खर्च गर्छ बजेटमा पनि तिमीले हेर्न सक्छ वेजेस एन्ड स्यालेरिजको कुरा सब्सिडिज एन्ड ट्रान्सफर्सको कुराहरू एक्सपेन्डिचर अन गुड्स एन्ड सर्भिसेसको कुरा such as infrastructure like road, electricity, location, and human capital accumulation like health and education, interest expenditure, etc. यो सबै गभर्मेन्टको एक्सपेन्डिचर। अब यहाँ भन्न खोजेको कुरा कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि तिमीलाई जस्तो वेजेस एन्ड स्यालेरिज अफ प्रेसिडेन्ट टु पिएम राष्ट्रपतिको स्यालेरीदेखि लिएर तल पिएमको स्यालेरीदेखि लिएर सबैको स्यालेरिजहरूमा यहाँनिर दिएको छ होइन लाइक रोडको कुराहरू भयो इलेक्ट्रिसिटीको कुरा टेलिकम एन्ड ह्युमन क्यापिटलको कुराहरू एक्युमुलेसन लाइक हेल्थ एन्ड एजुकेसन इन्ट्रेस्ट एक्सपेन्डिचर इटिसी अनि सबै कुराहरू अनि पब्लिक रेभिन्यूमा हेर त डिफ्रेन्ट सोर्सेस अफ गभर्मेन्ट रेभिन्यू विथ मेजर फोकस अन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यूको कुरा वास्तवमा गभर्मेन्टको रेभिन्यू के हुन्छ थाहा छ ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू हुन्छ अर्को नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू ट्याक्स एक्सपेन्डिचर त बुझ्यो नि खर्च होइन सबै जे गर्छ गभर्मेन्टले खर्च बाटो बनाउँदा कन्स्ट्रक्सन अफ रोडदेखि लिएर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी टेलिकम होइन अनि वेजेस एन्ड स्यालेरिज कहिलेकाहीँ विदेशी पाहुनाहरू आउँछ नि हाम्रो देशमा सी जिनपिङ आएको थियो नि नेपालमा होइन त्यो बेलामा हामीले पार्टी दिएको थियो हो त्यो पार्टीहरू सबै कुरा चाहिँ केमा पर्छ त भन्दाखेरि पब्लिक एक्सपेन्डिचर्समा पर्छ क्या होइन यस्तरी बुझ्नुपर्ने हुन्छ है ओके अनि दिज आर द केसेस के यो केसमा हामीले अब ओके पब्लिक यो एक्सपेन्डिचर भन्दा रेभिन्यू चाहिँ के हुन्छ गभर्मेन्टको ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू हुन्छ अर्को नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू भन्नाले के भन्छ गभर्मेन्ट रिसिभ द होइन मनी फ्रम द ट्याक्स सिस्टम अफ अ कन्ट्री एन्ड बेसिकली वी हेभ द टु टाइप्स अफ ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू द फर्स्ट वान इज डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स द सेकेन्ड वान इज इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्सको पनि कुरा र इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्सको पनि कुरा आउँछ कि अनि डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भन्ने चाहिँ के नि फेरि a taxpayer unable to shift the burden of tax, which called direct tax. जस्तो फर एक्जाम्पल अर्चनाले महिनाको 10,000 कमाउँछ होइन उसको ड्याडीले चाहिँ यो 10,000 मेरो छोरीको भनेर यसको ट्याक्स चाहिँ उसले 10% तिर्नुपर्छ सपोज भने 1,000 उसको ट्याक्स जान्छ यो ट्याक्स चाहिँ म तिर्दिन्छु भनेर ड्याडीले तिर्दिन्छु भन्यो भने दिन्छ मिल्दैन किन इट इज डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भनेपछि यस्तोलाई हामी डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भन्छ यो चाहिँ अर्चनाले आफ्नो स्यालेरीबाटै पेड गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ बुझेको बुझेन हो यसलाई भन्छ डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भनेको डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भन्दा चाहिँ के हुँदो रहेछ यो खालको केसलाई भन्छ कि अब त बुझ्यो होला नि डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स कुरा अर्को पनि कुरा हेरौँ डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्सदेखि पछाडि इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्सको पनि कुरा है त इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भन्ने चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ होइन इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स भन्ने चाहिँ ट्याक्स पेई एबल टु सिफ्ट द बर्डन अफ ट्याक्स के मलाई थाहा छ सपोज तिमीहरू विश्वज्योति सिनेमा हलमा मुभी हेर्न गयो ठिक छ त्यहाँ मुभी हेर्न गइसकेपछि के भयो त भन्दाखेरि त्यो मुभी थिएटरमा विश्वज्योति हलमा मुभी हेर्न गयो अनि मुभी हेर्न गइसकेपछि के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि पहिला तिमीहरूलाई थाहा छ टिकट किन्न त टिकटमा चाहिँ के लेखेको हुन्छ भ्याट इन्टरटेनमेन्ट ट्याक्स यस्तरी लेखेको हुन्छ क्या टिकट पैसाको लगभग आधा पैसा त ट्याक्स नै हुन्छ कि त्यहाँनिर। तर त्यहाँ के हुन्छ विश्वयुद्ध हलको साउजीको नाम के थाहा छ? गरिबलाल सर्राफको क्या। पहिला के हुन्छ त्यो ट्याक्स गरिबलालले तिर्ने हो अनि स्लोली हामीलाई ट्रान्सफर गरिदिने हो कि भनेको दिज आर द इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स। डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स के हुन्छ? जसको छ उसले अर्कोलाई सार्न मिल्दैन। बट इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स के हुन्छ? अर्कोलाई सार्न मिल्छ कि त्यसलाई भन्छ कि डाइरेक्ट र इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स हुन्छ। यहाँबाट गभर्मेन्टको ठुलो अमाउन्टमा रेभिन्यू हुन्छ। योदेखि बाहेक नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू पनि हुन्छ कि। नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू भनेको के हो? ट्याक्सदेखि बाहेक अरू के। फर एक्जाम्पलको लागि फाइन, फिज एन्ड पेनाल्टिजहरू पनि हुन्छ कि। जस्तो हामी वान वेमा गाडी छिर्यो, ट्राफिकले भेटायो अनि बिल काट्दियो होइन। अनि के हुन्छ त्यहाँनिर? ट्राफिकले बिल काट्यो भनेदेखि हामीलाई ट्राफिकले पैसा तिरेर होइन, जस्तो के भन्छ यसलाई, हामीले पैसा तिर्यो पहिले होइन, उसले हामीलाई बिल काटेर पैसा लियो भनेदेखि के भयो? गभर्मेन्ट रेभिन्यू भयो। ट्राफिकले आफ्नो एउटा रसिद बिल काट्यो भने, अथवा ट्राफिकले चाहिँ बिल नकाटिकन पैसा लियो भने चाहिँ के भयो फेरि? यो चाहिँ ट्राफिक रेभिन्यू। यो भनेको नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू हो क्या। यस्तो थुप्रै छ। फाइन पर्छ, हामी पेनाल्टिज तिर्छ, कोर्टहरूमा कति ठुलो फाइनहरू परेको हुन्छ। फाइन, फिज, पेनाल्टिज भयो, यो गभर्मेन्टको। अर्को गभर्मेन्टले सेल अफ गभर्मेन्ट गुड्स एन्ड सर्भिसेस। गभर्मेन्टले हेरेन, गभर्मेन्ट हस्पिटलमा जाँदा जुन हामीले पैसा तिर्छ अनि हामीले अरू सर्भिसेसहरू के जस्तो एनटिसीको मोबाइलबाट भएको सर्भिसेस सबै के हुन्छ त? यसैलाई नि के भन्छ त हाम्रो गभर्मेन्ट रेभिन्यू भयो, नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू भयो। अर्को के हुन्छ थाहा छ? सेल अफ गभर्मेन्ट प्रपर्टी पनि हुन्छ कि। टुडी खेल बेच्दाखेरि हुँदैन, भइहाल्छ नि। गभर्मेन्टले टुडी खेल बेच्यो भने राम्रो इन्कम आउँछ। यो पनि के हो त? नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यू। टुडी खेल त बेच्न मिल्दैन होइन, किनभने एउटा सिटीको लागि अराउन्ड 15% प्लेस चाहिँ के हुनुपर्छ? ओपन स्पेस हुनुपर्छ भन्छ। हाम्रोमा त त्यो पनि छैन हेर। अनि त्यसमा पनि जम्मा एउटा टुडी खेल छ होइन, त्यो पनि सेनाले कब्जा लगाएको छ वास्तवमा। हो, त्यसले गर्दा अलिकति राम्रो छैन कि। यो कुराहरू चाहिँ हामीले सिस्टमेटाइज गरेर आउने जाने इन्भाइरोमेन्ट क्रिएट गर्नुपर्छ कि जाने। त्यो पछि नि यसलाई भन्छ कि यसरी हामी जानुहुन्छ। ओके, यही केसहरू भयो कि। यसलाई नि के हुन्छ? पब्लिक रेभिन्यूको कुरा भनेको पब्लिक रेभिन्यूमा पनि नन ट्याक्स रेभिन्यूमा हुन्छ। वास्तवमा थाहा चाहिँ तिमीहरूले यो दशरथ स्टेडियमदेखि लिएर अनि त्यो के भन्छ भद्रकालीको सेनाको ब्यारेक हेरेर त बिचमा टुडी खेल अनि रत्न पार्क, रानी पोखरी अनि कहाँसम्म भन्दाखेरि नारायण हिटी दरबारसम्म सबै गभर्मेन्ट जग्गा छ कि। हेर न सबै बिचमा। आर्मीहरू पनि बिचमा बस्दिएको छ कि। वास्तवमा आर्मीको हेडक्वार्टर त अलिक साइडमा हुनुपर्ने हो नि। नर्मली आर्मी हेडक्वार्टर कहिले पनि यस्तो बिचमा सिटीको बिचमा हुनुहुँदैन कि। वास्तवमा आर्मीको हेडक्वार्टर त थानकोटतिर लगेर राख्नुपर्ने हो क्या। यहाँ त के भइरहेको थाहा छ? आर्मीले हामीलाई सेक्युरिटी दिएको हो कि आर्मी चाहिँ हाम्रो सेक्युरिटीमा बसिरहेछ भन्ने कुरै थाहा छैन। उसको आफ्नो त्यत्रो जग्गा स्टेडियम सहित राखिरहेछ क्या। त्यो ठाउँहरूमा त कति धेरै हामीले के युज गर्नु मिल्छ होइन। अथवा टुडी खेलमा पनि अन्डरग्राउन्ड पार्किङहरू बनाइदिने होइन, एकदम धेरै ठुलो उयोहरू स्पेसहरू क्रिएट गरिदिने हो भने कति राम्रो हुन्छ होइन। त्यो छ क्या कन्डिसन। ओके, बुझ्यो अब पब्लिक रेभिन्यू भने के रहेछ? बुझायो? ओके, अब पढ्न पब्लिक डेट। पब्लिक डेट भनेको कस्तो भने नि यस्तै सोच्ने के हाम्रो घरमा के हुन्छ भन्नु त? ल त्यस्तै हो क्या, हाम्रो घर जस्तै हो कि त्यो गभर्मेन्ट चलाउने भन्ने कुरा पनि कि। हाम्रो घरमा के हुन्छ? हाम्रो खर्च गर्छ हामीले। खर्च हाम्रो कहाँबाट खर्च गर्छ भन्दा हाम्रो कहाँबाट आम्दानी आउँछ होइन, इन्कम कहाँबाट आउँछ त्यही बेसमा हामी खर्च गर्छ। पुगेन भने लोन लिन्छ, लोन कहाँबाट लिन्छ भनेको इन्टर्नल लोन लिन्छ, अर्को भनेको एक्सटर्नल लोन लिन्छ। एक्सटर्नल भनेको ब्याङ्कबाट लिन्छ, इन्टर्नल भनेको घरको फ्यामिली मेम्बरहरूबाट, यसो साथीभाइबाट। यही कुरा त हो सरकारको पनि, हेर न। सरकारले पनि इन्टर्नल भनेको चाहिँ लोन लिँदाखेरि सेन्ट्रल ब्याङ्कबाट, कमर्सियल ब्याङ्कबाट, यसरी देशभित्रैबाट लोन दिने इन्टर्नल भयो। बाहिर फ्रेन्डली कन्ट्रिजहरू, अनि त्यस पछाडि अर्को के भयो भन्दा फ्रेन्डली कन्ट्रिज, अनि त्यस पछाडि अनि अर्को के हुन्छ, इन्टरनेसनल एजेन्सिज लाइक वर्ल्ड ब्याङ्क, एडिबी, यिनीहरूबाट आयो भने चाहिँ के भयो त फेरि भन्दाखेरि यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले यस्तो कुरा बुझे होइन कुरा। These are the cases के, यही केस हो हाम्रो वास्तवमा। ओके, पब्लिक फाइनेन्स इज कम्पोज अफ द फलोइङ कस्ट। अब त बुझ्यो होला नि, यही हो पब्लिक एक्सपेन्डिचर, पब्लिक रेभिन्यू एन्ड पब्लिक डेब्ट भन्ने। अब न पब्लिक फाइनेन्सियल एडमिनिस्ट्रेसन, अरे पब्लिक फाइनेन्स इज कम्पोज अफ द फलोइङ कन्स्टिट्युएन्ट। हाम्रो तिनवटादेखि बाहेक अब पब्लिक फाइनेन्सियल एडमिनिस्ट्रेसनलाई पनि पर्छ भन्ने कुरा हो। पब्लिक फाइनेन्सियल भनेको अर्थ मन्त्रालयहरू भयो क्या, यो तिनवटा हो। यसलाई बिर्से पनि हुन्छ, के फरक पर्दैन। मेन कुरा भनेको चाहिँ हाम्रो यो तिनवटा केस हो, के रहेछ, एक्सपेन्डिचर, रेभिन्यू एन्ड डेप्ट। अब डेप्टमा इन्टरनल डेप्ट भनेको कहाँबाट आउने रहेछ त? फर्स्ट वान, सेन्ट्रल ब्याङ्कले हामीलाई दिन्छ, सेन्ट्रल ब्याङ्कबाट गभर्मेन्टले लोन लिनु मिल्छ र। त्यस पछाडि अर्को के मिल्छ भन त ल, कमर्सियल ब्याङ्क, कमर्सियल ब्याङ्क होइन, कमर्सियल ब्याङ्कबाट पनि मिल्छ हेर हाम्रो, हुँदैन। अर्को भनेको नन ब्याङ्किङ फाइनेन्सियल इन्स्टिट्युसन्स के, एनबिएफआई, नन ब्याङ्किङ फाइनेन्सियल इन्स्टिट्युसन्स, यहाँबाट पनि के हुन्छ, गभर्मेन्टले लोन लिनु मिल्छ र, इन्टरनली लिने भने। अर्को भने हामीले बिजनेस हाउसेसहरू के, बिजनेस हाउसेस भने लाइक चौधरी ग्रुप, गोल्खा अर्गनाइजेसन होइन, यस्तो ग्रुपहरूबाट पनि हामीले लोन लिनु मिल्छ क्या, बुझ्यो नि। अर्को भनेको इन्डिभिजुअल, इन्डिभिजुअलसँग पनि मिल्छ क्या हेर। दिज आर द केसेस। यो केसमा हामीले के गर्दा यिनीहरूबाट इन्टरनल भएर निस्किएर हुन्छ क्या। ठिक छ यहाँसम्म कुरा? अब अर्को भनेको एक्सटर्नल भयो, यो मैले भने कि इन्टरनल सोर्सेसहरू हो यिनीहरू भने, देशभित्र लिने यिनीहरू हो। नन ब्याङ्किङ फाइनेन्सियल इन्स्टिट्युसन भनेको सिटिजन इन्भेस्टमेन्ट ट्रस्टहरू भयो, प्रोभिडेन्ट फन्डहरू, इन्सुरेन्स कम्पनीजहरूलाई भन्न खोजेको कि यो भने। बुझ्दैछ केही कुराहरू? आजको क्लास कस्तो लागिरहेछ? प्रवीण, अर्चना, ठिक छ? ओके, बुझ्दैछ नि? ओके ल,
हजुर सब बुझ्दैछ।
बुझ्दैछ है, ओके गुड। अर्कै डिफ्रेन्ट टाइप्सको छ है आजको क्लासहरू भने। यो पढिसकेको भएदेखि झनै राम्रो थियो। मैले प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्थेँ नि अस्ति, थाहा छ, बजेटको बारेमा है। त्यो भएर म तिमीलाई बरु थोरै थोरै पढाउने, तर एकदम धेरै कुराहरू भन्ने क्या मैले, हो त प्लान गरेको छु कि। बुझ्यो नि कुरा? पब्लिक फाइनेन्स इज कम्पोज अफ, यस्तैले हामी गइरहेछ। अब यसलाई खासै हेर्नु परेन। अब नहेर त पब्लिक फाइनेन्स, इकोनोमिक स्टेबिलाइजेसन, ग्रोथ, यो कुरा हटाइदियो। अब न यहाँनिरबाट हेर्नु पऱ्यो, रोल अफ गभर्मेन्ट। गभर्मेन्टको रोल चाहिँ के हो त, के गर्नुपर्छ? प्रमोसन अफ ह्युमन क्यापिटल, वास्तवमा ह्युमन क्यापिटल एकुमुलेसनलाई प्रमोट गर्नुपर्छ। तिमीहरू थाहा छ, आज आएर क्युएमयुको यस्तो राम्रो युनिभर्सिटीको होइन तिमीहरू यहाँ प्रोग्राममा पढ्न पाउनु भने यो गभर्मेन्टको कन्ट्रिब्युसन होइन र कि तिमीहरू सोध्छ यसको कन्ट्रिब्युसन जस्तो लाग्छ भन त कसको कन्ट्रिब्युसन हो भनिदेऊ कसको कन्ट्रिब्युसन होला ल भन्नु त गभर्मेन्टको कन्ट्रिब्युसन गभर्मेन्टले दिएको
हुँदै हुन्थेन नि होइन
बुझ्यो के भने
गभर्मेन्टले पर्मिसन नदिएको भए त हुँदै हुन्थेन नि
यस त्यही भएन गभर्मेन्टले पर्मिसन दिएर गभर्मेन्टले यस्तो गर भनेर गाइड गरेपछि पो प्राइभेट सेक्टरमा भयो भने होइन र भेरी गुड हो द्याट्स वाइ यो त गभर्मेन्टको कन्ट्रिब्युसन बुझे गभर्मेन्टले काठमाडौँको टप कलेजहरू डेभलप गर्नु होइन टप युनिभर्सिटिजहरू लाइक क्युएमयुको अनि क्विन मार्केट युनिभर्सिटी अफ वेस्ट अफ इङ्ल्यान्डको कोर्सहरू लिड्स ब्यागेट युनिभर्सिटी नटिङ्गन युनिभर्सिटी होइन सबै युनिभर्सिटीको प्रोग्रामहरू यो सबै कुराहरू त त्यसरी आएको हो नि त रोल अनि त्यसलाई भन्छ के प्रमोसन अफ ह्युमन क्यापिटल एकुमुलेसन अब नाउ प्रोभिजन अफ इसेन्सियल पब्लिक गुड्स That's why these are the case provision of essential public goods essential public goods भन्दा नि कस्तो गुड्सलाई भन्छ भन्दाखेरि नन राइभलरी नन एक्सक्लुडेबिलिटी यो फिचर्स भएको गुड्सहरूलाई हामीले पब्लिक गुड्स भन्छ जस्तो रोड डिफेन्स अर सेक्युरिटी होइन यिनीहरू भनेको पब्लिक गुड्सहरू हो कि र त रोडमा के एउटा ठुलो गाडी हिँड्ने बित्तिकै हाम्रो बाइक स्कुटर गाडी कुदाउन नमिल्ने हो र हाल्छ नि एउटा हिँड्यो भन्नेमा के फरक पर्दैन यसलाई भन्छ कि पब्लिक गुड्सको कुरा र अब डिसेन्ट्रलाइजेसनको कुरा यो पनि गभर्मेन्टको रोल हो गभर्मेन्टले सबै रोल फङ्सन सेन्ट्रलाइज गर्नु हुँदैन क्या अहिले के गर्नुपर्छ सबै फङ्सन रोलहरू के गर्नुपर्छ त्यो डिसेन्ट्रलाइजेसन गर्नुपर्छ अर्को फेसिलिटेटिङ एन्ड रेगुलेटिङ द प्राइभेट सेक्टर फर प्रमोटिङ इन्डस्ट्रिज financial institutions and building infrastructures यो कुराहरू र त यति धेरै नेपालमा ब्याङ्कहरू भनेको के प्राइभेट सेक्टरले गर्दा हो कि गभर्मेन्टले गर्दा हो गभर्मेन्टले गर्दा हो गभर्मेन्ट प्रोभाइड्स द फेसिलिटिज होइन गभर्मेन्टले अरू फेसिलिटीहरू प्रोभाइड गर्यो सेन्ट्रल ब्याङ्कले लाइसेन्स दियो अनि पो यति धेरै भएको छैन होइन र 27 वटा कमर्सियल ब्याङ्क एउटा इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर ब्याङ्क 40+ डेभलपमेन्ट ब्याङ्क 40+ सी ग्रेड ब्याङ्क अनि अझ 50+ के भयो त डी ग्रेड ब्याङ्कहरू डी ग्रेड भन्नाले माइक्रो फाइनेन्स कम्पनीजहरू होइन यस्तैहरू छ क्या अब यो सबै कुराहरू भयो है अब यहाँसम्म हेरेर अर्को पनि त्यस पछाडि प्रोटेक्सन अफ इन्डिभिजुअल लिबर्टिजको कुराहरू हाम्रो लिबर्टिजहरू गभर्मेन्टले गर्नुपर्ने होइन प्रोटेक्सन गरिदिनुपर्छ हामीले स्वतन्त्रपूर्वक बाँच्न पाउने अधिकार हामीले फ्री मुभमेन्टको कुरा होइन हामीलाई म पोखरा जान्छु भनौँ भने कसैले बाटोमा रोक्नु भएन त किन पोखरा आएको भनेर यो भनेको हाम्रो लिबर्टिज हो प्राइभेट राइट टु ल्यान्ड एन्ड क्यापिटल होइन मेरो घर मेरो जग्गा मेरो प्रपर्टी मेरो भन्ने कुराहरू पनि गभर्मेन्टले मेन्टेन गरिदिनुपर्छ कि गुड कोर्ट्स एन्ड लिगल सिस्टम हाम्रो गुड कोर्ट सिस्टम हुनु पर्यो अब हेर त अहिले केपी ओलीले राम्रो गरेको थिएन संविधान मिचेको थियो भन्यो सुप्रिम कोर्टले चेन्ज गरिदियो। यस्तै गुड कोर्ट सिस्टम हुनुपर्यो, लिगल सिस्टम राम्रो हुनुपर्यो, रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ पोलिटिकल सिस्टम हुनुपर्यो होइन। दिज आर द केसेस। रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ पोलिटिकल सिस्टमहरू पनि भनेको रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ भनेको जनताले इलेक्सन दिएर एउटा आफ्नो रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभ पठाउन पाउने सिस्टम हो। द्याट्स द रोल अफ गभर्मेन्ट। ओके, ठिक छ, बुझ्यो कुरा यहाँसम्म? अप टु हियर के क्वेसन छ भने सोध मलाई। ओके, in the absence of the government intervention and high rates of unemployment can persist for long period. Just the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. By the equilibrium between aggregate demand and aggregate supply, the equilibrium level of income is determined. भनेको national income is determined. यस्तै गर्ने यो कुरा भनेको यहाँ गभर्मेन्टको कुरा। अब न हेर न, हाउ डज गभर्मेन्ट वर्क, गभर्मेन्ट कसरी काम गर्छ? With policies, and basically we have macroeconomic policies and macroeconomic policies. Okay, microeconomic policies and macroeconomic policy. यसमा पनि के छ भन्दाखेरि हामीसित म्याक्रोमा फिस्कल पोलिसी, मोनिटरी पोलिसी। फिस्कल पोलिसी भन्ने बजेटलाई भन्छ कि अब हामी पढ्छ त्यसलाई फिस्कल पोलिसी के हो। देन आफ्टर मोनिटरी पोलिसी अनि इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर इन्भेस्टमेन्ट पोलिसी। दिज आर द म्याक्रो इकोनोमिक पोलिसी। यो के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि हामी यो जुन इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर पोलिसी चाहिँ यो इन्भेस्टमेन्ट पोलिसी चाहिँ हामी पढ्दैनौँ, चाहिने चाहिँ हामीलाई हो यो दुईवटा पोलिसी हो। हामीले पढ्ने भने फिस्कल पोलिसी अब पढ्छौँ, मोनिटरी पोलिसी त हामी अलरेडी पढिसकेको छ होइन। अनि माइक्रो इकोनोमिक पोलिसिजहरूमा यो त हो, तर हामी यहाँ चाहिँ के गर्छ, यहाँ चाहिँ पढ्दैन कुरा। बुझ्यो कि बुझेन? बट दिज आर हेल्प्स फर द गभर्मेन्ट फङ्सनिङको लागि हेल्प गर्ने। बुझ्यो होइन? यसरी यस्तो तरिकाले बुझ्नु। ओके, आज हामी यहाँ यो च्याप्टरमा मैले के पढाउने हो? फिस्कल पोलिसी पढाउने। ठिक छ, अप टु हियर इफ यु हेभ एनी क्वेरिज, के क्वेसन छ? छैन है? ओके ल,
Yes, sir.
छैन है त। ओके। ओके ल हेर अब न हामी बजेटिङको बारेमा कुरा गर्छौँ अब टु यहाँ इफ यु हेभ एनी क्वेरिज केही छ त यहाँ हेरौँ त अलिकति बजेटको जस्तो डिराइभ फ्रम ल्याटिन वर्ड बग एन्ड द फ्रेन्च वर्ड बजेट होइन अनि बजेट मिन्स स्मल लेदर ब्याग क्या बजेट भनेको रहेछ त स्मल लेदर ब्याग भनेको यो वर्ड ओके जस्तो यो फ्रेन्च वर्डबाट डिराइभ भएको केस हो कि यो वास्तवमा भन्यो भनेर बजेट भन्यो अनि बजेटको मिनिङ चाहिँ के हुन्छ थाहा छ अलिकति बजेटको मिनिङ चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि यो कस्तो भएको थियो भन्दाखेरि नि वर्ल्डमा फर्स्टमा होइन इन युकेमा 1733मा द वालपोल होइन द चान्सलर अफ एक्जिक्युटर वालपोलले चाहिँ के गर्यो भन्दाखेरि अघिल्लो दिन इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट्स प्रेजेन्ट गर्छु भनेर कि इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट्स प्रेजेन्ट गर्छु भनेको थियो अनि त्यो भएको हुनाले गर्दाखेरि इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट्स प्रेजेन्ट गर्ने भनेको हुनाले गर्दाखेरि उसले के गर्यो त भन्दा इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट प्रेजेन्ट गर्ने भनिरहेको हुनाले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अनि यो के भन्छ गर्छु भनेर भनेको थियो तर भोलिपल्ट उसले लिएर आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो लेदरको एटेची हुन्छ नि लेदर ब्याग क्या हो त्यसमा हालेर ल्याएछ कि अन्त मेम्बर अफ पार्लियामेन्टहरूले चाहिँ जिस्काएछ कि टिचिङ गरे क्या उनीहरूले दे स्टार्टेड टु टिच द वालपोल के ओ के भन्छ इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट ल्याउने भने बट हि ब्रट बजेट भनेको लेदरको ब्याग चाहिँ ल्याएछ भनेर जिस्कायो क्या फ्रम द्याट डे द बजेट द मिनिङ अफ बजेट इज के भन्छ द मिनिङ अफ बजेट डिल्स विथ द इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट्सलाई चाहिँ हामी के भन्छ बजेट भन्न थाल्यो बट द ओरिजिनल मिनिङ अफ बजेट इज स्मल लेदर ब्याग बुझ्यो कस्तो लाग्यो रमाइलो लाग्यो द्याट्स द केस होइन अनि देन द चान्सलर अफ एक्जिक्युटर वालपोल केम विथ द लेदर ब्याग इन द पार्लियामेन्ट टु प्रेजेन्ट द एनुअल स्टेटमेन्ट अफ इन्कम एन्ड एक्सपेन्डिचर and when he opened the bag people used to term he's opening the budget not economic documents they started to teach and they term he's opening the budget thus the term budget became popular from that day the word budget became popular see बुझ्यो कस्तो रमाइलो लाग्यो ओके ल Now see in Nepal it was on 21st March 2008 BS. The budget was formulated by the cabinet of the then PM Matrika Prasad Koirala. Every year budget is presented in the parliament. Yes. अब नेपालमा पनि नयाँ बजेट आउन खोजिरहेछ फेरि किन लास्ट टाइमको बजेट चाहिँ हाम्रो के भयो त पार्लियामेन्टबाट आएको थिएन पार्लियामेन्टबाट आउने हो नि त बजेट बजेट इज अ फाइनेन्सियल स्टेटमेन्ट अफ द गभर्मेन्ट comprising expenditures and revenue for a year. It is both economic as well as a political document. वास्तवमा बजेट भने इकोनोमिक डकुमेन्ट मात्र होइन कि इट्स अ पोलिटिकल डकुमेन्ट भन्ने It is a mirror to look into development activities undertaken by the government, which sets the framework for policy formulation and implementation. Budget documents is a good source of public information on past activities, current decisions, and future prospects. These are the cases. ठिक छ यहाँसम्म ओके यसलाई नै हामी के भन्छ बजेट भन्छ बजेटको बारेमा त बुझ्यो होला ओके यसरी नै हामी जाने कति भइसक्यो अझै लाग्यो कि छैन अब यहाँसम्म हेरौँ अब बजेटमा के हुनुपर्छ यो एउटा लास्ट स्लाइड हेरौँ अनि देन आफ्टर क्लास छोडिदिउँ है त धेरै पनि नपढौँ हामीलाई किनभने वी हेभ सफिसिएन्ट टाइम द्याट्स वाइ हैन A good budget document contains overall development policy, size and composition of revenue and expenditure policy, size, Excuse me. Size and composition of revenue and expenditure policy. Size and composition of external and internal borrowings and policy, and whether the budget is deficit or surplus, and how is deficit covered and the surplus disposed of, an actual of the previous year and revised estimate of the current year and estimate for the next fiscal year. यही कुराहरू मात्र हो कि पछि यही कुराहरू हुनु पर्यो. These are the good बजेटमा हुने कम्पोनेन्ट्सहरू. अब हामीले हेर्ने कुरा ठिक छ. बाँकीको कुरा हामी पछि कुरा गरौँला, किनभने हामी बजेटको बारेमा अझै डिटेल कुराहरू गर्दै जान्छ. हामीले एकैचोटि नगरौँ, बिस्तारै अर्को विकदेखि गरौँ. अनि अल अफ यु गाइज रेडी फर द प्रेजेन्टेसन एज वेल. अनि सबैजना प्रेजेन्टेसनको लागि रेडी पनि हुने है त. ल, इफ यु हेभ एनी क्वेरिज, फाइनली केही क्वेसन छ भनेदेखि सोध, अनि छैन भनेदेखि हामी यसलाई बिस्तारै हामी जानु जान्छ. म अर्कोपल्टदेखि ठ्याक्कै यो बजेटदेखि नै सुरु गरिदिन्छु. हुन्छ नि, यहाँदेखि नै नेपालको बजेटदेखि नै सुरु गर्छु, सजिलो हुन्छ है त. ल, थ्याङ्क यू सो मच. एनिवे, एनीवन ह्याभ एनी क्वेरिज, क्वेसन्स केही छ सोधिहाल्नु मलाई. के छ अर्चना, प्रवीण, युनेश, रत्ना, निन्जु, मेरिना. ओके अर्चना भन. होइन, ल त्यसो भए थ्याङ्क यू सो मच. थ्याङ्क यू क्लास. बाई बाई.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye. Bye guys. Bye.
Good morning, class. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Archana. Okay, let's move to the attendance. Alex,
Present, ma'am.
Archana,
Present, ma'am.
Asish,
Yes, ma'am.
Dipesh, Even, Jechu, Marina, Ninju,
Yes, ma'am.
Nishan, Ojaswi, Prakriti,
Present, ma'am.
Prasamsha, Praveen, Raman,
Yes, ma'am, Probin Kotri.
okay, Praveen,
Actually, त्यो
Raman,
गरी पर्ने हुन्छ कि अब एसएल ए एकैछिन
Ratna,
Present, ma'am.
Rebison,
Present, ma'am.
Ritiz, Riwaz, Ronim, Sacham, Salina, Sarishma,
Yes, ma'am.
Shekhar,
Present, ma'am.
Smith,
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Swaroop,
Yes, ma'am.
Unish,
Present, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm also present, Deepesh.
Dipesh.
Ma'am, and
Anybody
Riti is
else?
also. Riti is.
Ritiz. Okay. Anyone else who missed the attendance?
Ma'am, Nishan. He's joining the meeting.
Nishan? Oh, he's joining. Okay, fine. Okay, so what we did in the last class was we went through assignment number 5. That was a presentation, right? Now, some of you were not present in the last class. Let me take your names. Ninju, Raman, Riwaz, Saksham, and Swaroop. So you were not present in the last class, so you couldn't present. But I can give you another chance. So if you want to present, okay, if you still want to complete your assignment, you can stay after we finish today's class and you can present at that time. All right. So if you want, please stay after we finish today's class. And today we'll be moving on to learning objective 4. We're finished with learning objective 5 now with the presentation. And your next presentation, that is the group presentation, assignment number 6, right? I've already allocated you into groups. So assignment number 6 will happen on 11th of August. So you have less than a month, all right? So please start preparing among your groups. All right, 11th August and 17th August, 2 days. And in this group presentations, please make a visual presentation as well. Fine. So please remember those things and start working on your presentation too. So today, let's move on with learning objective 4. So under learning objective 4, we'll be covering various kinds of things. All right. Now, as you can see in the screen, today we'll be going through persuasion in business communication. Right. In the coming classes for learning objective 4, we'll be going through sales letters, how to write your CVs, how to write your portfolios, and how to write different kinds of resumes, how to contact and how to send messages to people. Okay, so we'll be going through all those things under learning objective 4. So today, for learning objective 4's first class, persuasion in business communication. So the first thing you need to tell me is, what do you mean by persuasion? How many of you know what persuasion is? What is persuasion? Any idea? So none of you have heard about the word persuasion before. Is it? Yes, Rabison?
Change someone's mind.
Can you repeat, please?
Like to change someone's mind.
To change someone's mind. Yes, of course. Archana, building trust. Yes, that's true. And persuasion, just like both of you mentioned. It's like convincing people, having the power, having the strength to convince somebody to do what you say or to believe what you are saying, right? So that is persuasion. So how can persuasion, how can the power of convincing people be important in business communication? How can we use this persuasion in our business? Do you think we need the convincing power, the persuasive power in business?
Yes, of course, ma'am.
We do, right? Because there are so many times, not only so many times, every time we are having to convince people, to influence people. Sometimes it might be clients and customers. You might have to convince them to buy your products. Sometimes it might be governmental work. There might be vendors and suppliers. There might be individuals from another company that you need to convince, you need to influence, you need to take them on your side. You need to make them believe in you, right? So all those things come under persuasion in business communication, right? So let's divide this word, divide this title, persuasion in business communication, okay? And first, let's go to persuasion then. So you mentioned a lot of things already. It's the same. So persuasion here, the action of persuading someone to make someone do or believe something, to convince, to influence someone, right? To somebody on your side. And there is an example given below there regarding the word persuasion. It took a lot of persuasion to convince the committee regarding advantages of the new plan. This means that it was very difficult to convince, it was very difficult to influence the committee, right? So this is what the sentence is saying here. And as we've already understood what persuasion is, what persuasion can do in our business, right? We need to convince in every step. We need to convince everyone. And not only what I mentioned, not only clients, customers, governmental bodies. We might need to convince our staff also, the employees in our office, the people who work for us. So we might need to convince anybody, right, regarding our business. Sometimes we might have to convince the landowner, the land where we have rented. So anybody, we are convincing anybody, that is persuasion, right? So now this is the purpose of a message now. Now moving on to message. So to persuade someone, we have to say something, we have to communicate, we have to speak up, or we have to send a message. So this slide is telling you, why do you send a message then? Is it important? Like if we want to convince someone, if we want the other person to do as we want, we can beat that person up, right? We can just maybe go and threaten him or her. But will that work? Will that person do what we want after that? It won't be, right? If we go in a very aggressive manner, nothing will go as we want. That is why we need to be very calm and very convincing in a humble way. So that is the purpose of sending a message, right? To convince your professionalism. That means to convince your colleagues, maybe. Sometimes you have to convince your customers, your audiences, your readers, listeners. There might be anyone. And to promote good relations. Now, if we go and aggressively try to threaten other people to do as we say, our relations will not be good. So that is why we need to maintain good relations too. We need to talk humbly, politely with everyone, so that as we talk politely, as we are soft with them, they do as we say, right? They agree to what we are saying and convey an appealing company image. Now, when we send a message, when we send a good message, whoever are the readers and listeners, the audience of our message, they think that our company is a good company because of the letter we are sending, because of what we have written, because of what message they are getting. If they get a very aggressive, threatening message, our company image will go down. But on the other hand, if we send a very good message, very appealing, very promising, very, let's say, polite message, people will take us in a good way, right? So all these things are required for us to send a message. How we send a message depends on that, right? So now connecting the purpose of message and connecting persuasive. Now, what is a persuasive message then? You mentioned it before, but these are kind of definitions, right? A request for action when you believe the receiver or reader may be unaware, disinterested, or unwilling. So this means that you want to convince someone who is not interested at all. So if you send a very convincing, persuasive message, even the person who was not interested will become interested. So that is the power of persuasive message, right? Just like in the first slide also we saw, to make someone believe in you, to make someone think like you think, to convince somebody, to influence somebody, right? That is a persuasive message. And in point B, you can see a communication to try to change the opinion of a receiver or reader. You've mentioned this also, right? So when you communicate, when you send a message, when you talk to somebody or send a letter, email, it might be anything. You're trying to change the mind, you're trying to change the perspective, the thought of the reader or the listener, right? So why are you trying to change the thought of the listener? Is because you want the listener to think as you are thinking. So if you write a persuasive message, if you send a very persuasive message, you might change the thought, you might change the perspective of the person, right? So that is why we need to be very persuasive. Now we might think like we don't need these persuasive messages. We can just go on good with our business. But what is the most important thing we need to remember here is regarding advertisements, regarding marketing. That is the most important persuasive message we can ever send, right? If we don't give any advertisement, or if we don't promote, if we don't market our products at all, our business will not grow, will not progress in speed, right? But if we send a persuasive message based on advertisements, based on promotion, based on marketing, that will work. So advertisement is also a part of persuasive message. All right, we'll come to that later on. And here we have the purpose of persuasive message. It's the same again. Let me just read this out. Moving your reader or receiver from uninterested position to an interested cooperative one, compliance to your request. So the same thing, making your reader, making your audience interested in you. Maybe they were uninterested in you before, but now after you send the message, you convince them and you change their mind, right? You make them believe in you. And the next point here is can be used in letters, advertisement, verbal calls, radios, email, etc. So we can send persuasive messages through various mediums. You can write letters, you can just send advertisements to all the audiences around the world. You can make verbal calls to certain people. You can do it through radios, emails, right? Or you can do it through social media too. There are so many options, so many mediums through which you can send a persuasive message, right? So now moving on here. Now persuasive messages, they have been divided into two parts, internal and external, right? Now if you remember in learning objective 1, we went through what internal and external communications were. Remember? So internal communication, there were whatever communication happened inside the organization, in between the staff, in between employees, or in between the boss and employees, whoever was working for the organization, working for the company. And in internal communication, there were various kinds of internal communication too. Something might be upward, sometimes it might be downwards or diagonal, remember? So all these can be connected here to internal persuasive message too. There might be upward internal persuasive message, downward internal persuasive message, or sometimes it might be diagonal. But in internal, those who are working, the staff, employees, or those people who work for the company, only they come under internal persuasive message, or the message they send comes under internal persuasive message. All right. So if the boss is sending a message to the employee, becomes downward internal persuasive message. Or if a staff sends a letter to the CEO, it becomes upward internal persuasive message, right? So it's the same thing. It's kind of related to internal communication. Just the medium, just the message here is different, right? And the next one is external. So just like external, we already know it's the opposite of internal. In external communication, we communicated with people, with individuals who were outside of the company, who were of course related to the company but did not work for the company. There were individuals like from other companies, there were vendors, suppliers, clients, there were customers, right? Sometimes media can also be considered external persuasive, and maybe governmental bodies, they are also external to the company. So if you send a message or if you receive a message from any of these individuals, that is known as external persuasive message. So you can send also, you can receive also, anything might happen. But whatever happens, that is, if they are from outside the company, that is external persuasive message. All right. So are you clear on this? Internal and external?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. Now let's move on. Okay, let's go through this. I'm going to give you a few examples so that you understand more. So here, internal persuasive message. So we have already understood that in internal persuasive message is flown inside the company between individuals who are working inside the company. It's like there might be staffs, employees, the CEO, manager, the directors, the owner, sometimes the peon, right? They all are working inside the company for the company. So if they communicate, if they send message to each other, it might be any kind of message regarding the company, regarding the organization based professionally, that is internal persuasive message. All right. So here are a few examples. Now the first one there is manager asking employees to volunteer during the flood crisis or pandemic. So what this means is manager asking employee. So the manager is in a higher post than the employee is. So the manager, when he asks the employee, it becomes downwards, right? So manager asking the employee is a downward internal persuasive message. All right, please try to understand this. Let me show this to you here. On the left side, you can see the same. Manager asking the employee to volunteer during the flood crisis or pandemic. So now just imagine a situation like today. We are going through this pandemic, we are going through this COVID-19. It has not ended, it has not finished yet, right? People are suffering. So let's say ABC company is there. And this ABC company now asks the employees to work in 50% salary due to, let's say, the COVID-19 crisis. Maybe the company tells that because of COVID-19 crisis, our company's revenues, they are going down. We are going in loss, we are not having any kind of profit, so please work in 50% salary. When we again improve the condition of the company, we'll increase your salary again. So what the company is saying is they're just sending a message, they're sending a letter, they're requesting that please work in 50% salary. Now see, what I'm trying to show is persuasive message doesn't mean that it must be a letter or it must be an email or advertisement. It can be any kind of message. So here basically it's a letter format, right? And the manager is requesting the employee. And whenever you are writing or whenever you are giving or sending a persuasive message, I already mentioned, you can never force anybody. You can never be harsh or aggressive. You cannot go and threaten people. That cannot work. Your persuasive message will not be implemented. Now, if you just request, if you try to attach emotions, then the persuasive message will work, right? So similarly here, the manager asking the employees to volunteer during the flood crisis. It might be any kind of volunteer, but here in the example, in this letter, there is an example of 50% salary because the company is going in a loss. So that is also a persuasive message. And because this message is between the manager and employee, it's an internal message, internal persuasive message, right? So, all right, Alex, can you please read out the paragraphs from the letter for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please read out the 3 paragraphs only.
Uh, so, uh, should I read the paragraph
Yes,
directly?
only the 3 paragraphs.
Yes, sure, ma'am. So, I refer to our meeting on insert date about whether you would be willing to agree to a salary reduction from amount per annum month or hour to a new rate of amount per annum month hour. So as discussed, the company is experiencing a significant downturn in business due to the global COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, or state an alternate reason. In response, we are putting in a place a temporary, permanent, reduced pay arrangement to avoid mass layoffs. If we do not obtain sufficient employee participation in the salary reduction program, we will have no option but to consider instituting a redundancy program that may result in temporary employee layoffs.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so what's happening in this letter is this is an internal letter. This letter is sent by the company to all the employees and requesting, asking them that let us reduce your salary by 50% because we are having some issues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So they are requesting here. And they have also mentioned that, like, please agree to us, please agree to our request, or else we'll have to lay off employees, we'll have to fire off employees, right? Now, this is a huge problem. So please try to understand and agree. So this is what they are trying to convince the employees, right? Now, let me show you another example. Now, this one on the left side, you can see demanding with management to create a scholarship fund for employees' dependents. So the previous one was from manager to employees, right? Now this one is from employees to the manager or the company. Now employees to the company, that means from downwards to upwards, right? This is an upward internal persuasive message. Employees are telling something, requesting something to the company, that comes under internal only, right? So what they are asking is they're asking to manage a scholarship fund, to create a fund, right, for the employees' dependents. Now, who are the employees' dependents? Dependents means people who are dependent on the employee. So, who are dependent on the employee? Maybe the employee's children. Yes, Archana?
family members,
Family members, right? Sometimes the employee's parents, wife, children, family, right? He or she might have a joint family, a huge family, right? Or the employee might have lots of pets. All these people, all the pets, they all are dependent on the employee. So sometimes, like the employees, a group of employees, they might come together and they might request to the company that please create a fund for us. They are persuading the company, or they are persuading the owner, the boss, to create a fund. Now, sometimes creating a fund might be for different reasons. They might ask creating a fund for children who need education, or creating a fund for those parents who are differently abled. Now, it's not necessary that if the company creates a fund, everybody, every employee must get something from the fund. It's not necessary. After creating the fund, whoever needs the fund, whoever needs the money, only that person can get that money, can get the fund. It's like if everybody is parents, okay, of the employees, they're okay, they're in good condition, in good health, but one employee's parents, they are differently abled, so that person, that employee's parents will get that fund, not all the parents. Or let's say creating a fund for the employees' children, so not all the children of all the employees will get the fund or will get the scholarship. Let's say one child is very talented, but that employee's family background is kind of poor. They are having financial crisis. So maybe that child will get the scholarship. So this is what the employees do. The employees, they request to create a fund So maybe today one employee would need that fund. Maybe in the next year, next employee might need the fund. We never know who might need the fund, right? So if the fund is there is always a backup. If anyone is in need, if anyone needs help, right? So this is also a very persuasive message, a very persuasive letter. You can see on the right side, it's kind of similar. So the employees, they request the company, right? And this goes upward internal persuasive message, right? So can somebody read this out for me? Eunish, can you please read this for us?
Hello,
Eunish,
am I audible?
please read only the paragraphs.
Uh, from we will
From we would like to.
okay. We would like to make an application for uh, 1,000 pounds from the AN other fund. We are a group of local people in any town, and we have recently set up a community group running free sport activities for children in the area. We were mainly inspired to start the club because some of our children often get into troubles at school and don't find it easy to make friends. We have 16 parents involved plus 6 other local volunteers. Over the last 4 months, we have run weekly activities sessions in the park which have been attended by over 40 local children.
Yes, please go on, Eunish.
We've formally adopted our constitution on 10th July 2012. This is included. Our aims are provide a safe, full, fun environment where all local children, 7 to 11, are welcome. Encourage students to take part in physical activities and develop healthy habits and lifestyles. Provide a fun focus for parents and children to play together and forge relationships with other local families.
Okay, thank you very much, Eunish. So what's happening here in this letter is a group of employees, a group of staff, they have come together and they're asking the company to create a fund for those children who really need this financial help, right? And they've also mentioned that there are 40 local children who need the help, and what this help, what this fund will do to those children. It will provide a safe environment, it will encourage children to do this and that, right? So all these things are mentioned here, and this is sent from the employees to the manager, which is inside the company again trying to persuade the company to create a fund, right? So that was one. Now another thing might be, again, now the third example, a letter to employees requesting donations for a charity that the company endorses. So what this means is sometimes now the company might ask for donations. The company is of course paying all the employees monthly, right? But the company says that we are paying you, right? But why don't you give some portion of your salary to the charity? So if the company says, why don't you give 1 rupees out of 100 rupees of your salary for charity? So I think like nobody would say no to give 1 rupees out of 100, out of each 100 to the charity. So the company after that collects all the money, collects all the, let's say, 1 rupees from each 100 rupees from all the employees and collects a charity. So what to do with that charity money, right? So they collect it, and what they do is sometimes they do certain events, right? Sometimes they do fundraising events through which they can raise more funds, and with that fund they do social events, Maybe they help somebody who is in need. Maybe they help underprivileged people. They do donation program just like blood donation, or let's say health issued program, right? So these things are done, and the company here is requesting for the donation based on their salaries. Let's say they might ask 0.5% charity from their entire salary, or 2% charity from their entire salary. So that is a very little amount and everyone can donate, right? So what happens after everyone donates is they collect it and they do a event, a social event. So one social event I can show you here is regarding Lakshmi Bank. So I suppose everybody has heard about Lakshmi Bank, right? Now Lakshmi Bank has one charitable organization named Lakshmi Cares. You can see on the screen. So what this Lakshmi Cares does is, just like I mentioned, every year they take certain percent of each employee's salary, and then they do a charitable event. So here in the screen, as you can see on the right picture, in 2016, Lakshmi Cares, they organized for a mountain bike rally. So they invited all the employees, everyone who was related to Lakshmi Bank, and they conducted this mountain bike rally. And after this, they collected more fund and did some social event. And after that, in 2019 also, Lakshmi Cares, they organized a musical charity show. They do different things every year. It's not that every year they just have to do mountain bike rally. They do different things. One year they did this rally, maybe the next year they did a running rally, right? And in 2019, I clearly remember they did a musical charity show, charity event at Solti Hotel. And do you know Deep Shrestha? He was the main person there. So he came, he sang, and from that event, they collected more funds through the employees. They invited many guests also. So from the guests also, they collected funds. So after collecting those funds, they did some social event for the society. So here also, what I'm trying to explain is the company is requesting for donation. Now the company cannot say that we are cutting 2% from your salary for charity. They can never say this, and they should not also. Instead, what they can do is they can request all the employees, they can send a letter or memo to all the employees that please be reminded that we all are requesting for 2% of your salary for the charity. So no one will say no. So this is again persuading the company's employees, right? So this is also how internal persuasive message can work, right? So I showed you 3 different examples. So now any confusion here regarding internal persuasive message? Okay, if not, let's move on. Now this is the external persuasive message. Okay, so external persuasive messages can be sales letters, they can be advertisements or verbal calls, they might be pictures only, images, visuals, emails, anything, right? But sending message to those people through these mediums who are not working for the company, who are outside of the company, that is external persuasive messages, right? And mostly, let's say more than 80% external persuasive messages, they are based on advertisements. The ads we see, those all are persuasive messages. The ads we have on, let's say, social media sometimes, or on TV, we see it on hoarding boards, they all are trying to convince us as audiences. They all are persuasive messages trying to influence us, maybe to buy the product or to attract us to their company, right? So those are persuasive messages, external. So let me show you a few examples. Now here, the first one, this might be ask or call the manager of another company to be the chief guest of your function. So when you are inviting some other person who is not from your company, that becomes external, right? And here, what we are doing is we are inviting the manager of another company. Now, let's say I am the manager of ABC company and you are the manager of XYZ company. So if I tell you that we are having the 10th AGM of our ABC company, so would you like to be the chief guest of our 10th year anniversary? So what would you say? Anyone would say, yes, sure, I'll come. Why not? Right? So why are you, or why is that person agreeing to be the chief guest? That is something to think about. How did that person get persuaded? Maybe I will tell that, okay, if you come as our chief guest, our relations, our company's relations will get stronger. I'm persuading him. I'm convincing that if you come, see, both of our companies will have growth, will have progress, will have good business. So this is how I'm trying to persuade the other person to come to my function, right? So one example might be this. Now another example here might be to customers. So letter to persuade readers to complete a questionnaire for your customer survey, right? So sometimes what happens is we are about to launch a product, we are about to start a new company, a new business. So we need to do different kinds of survey, kinds of questionnaires. So at times, I believe that even you have received so many emails telling you that please take 2 minutes and fill the survey. Please take 5 minutes to go through our questionnaire. So these things are there. So why should we fill the questionnaire, or why should we take the questionnaire, the survey? That person should persuade us, right? So here on the right side, you can see, let me read this out for you. We hope you're having a lovely day. We've chosen you as one of the small set of people to ask about their experience using Slack. So Slack is this company, right? So in the first line, please look at it. We have chosen you as one of the small set of people. So this particular email is trying to persuade us. It's saying that out of so many people, out of thousands and thousands of people, you are the one that we have chosen. So this email is trying to make you feel special. You are a unique one. You are a special one. That is why they have chosen you. So this is how they are persuading you. This is how they are convincing you. Now you think that yes, they have chosen only me out of so many people. So I am special to them. So after that, after making you special, they say that like we are gladly appreciate your feedback. Take only 7 minutes. Take the survey, please. So they have already convinced you, right? Some company sending you an email randomly and convincing you to take their survey. So this is also external persuasive message, all right? Now the other thing can be regarding surveys, just like one was I just showed you right now, that was online survey, which is on the left top, right? You can have online surveys like that. People will send you emails and messages persuading you to take surveys. The next one is face-to-face survey. People might come in front of you and ask you, please fill a survey. They might persuade you. If you fill this survey, I will give you this and this. Or on the right side, you can see telephonic survey. You might have a call and you might say like, can you answer a few questions for me? Like, do you like this product? Yes or no? These things might happen. Or on the left, on the right bottom, you can see paper surveys. Sometimes people might come to you, hand you a paper and ask you, request you to fill it. That is also survey, and that is also external persuasive messages. They're trying to convince you, right, to give something to them, to give a review, to give a message to them. So these things might happen in this way too. Here in this slide, you can see, Dear Tina, and then there's a long letter, and somewhere in the middle, there is donate now. So what is written in this letter is, this person, okay, Caroline Miles, on the very bottom, you can see her name. What she's doing is, she's trying to convince Tina to donate something. And she has highlighted so many points here. She is saying Yemen has truly become the world's worst humanitarian crisis. 700 innocent girls and boys are dying from hunger every week. So many things are there. And she's trying to influence Tina or whoever she sent this message to. She's trying to say that please donate something. She's trying to convince that you need to donate, right? And because it's not someone who is from her own company, this becomes external again. Or sometimes you might have these kinds of surveys. Now let's say you might have these kinds of questionnaires. These are paper surveys, which we went through in the last slide. So suppose you go to Pat Patini, right? And then in one corner, you might find representatives from Horlicks. And these representatives, they might just you and they might request you. They might say that, hello sir, hello ma'am, please fill this small piece of survey. Take 2 minutes to fill this survey and you will get free samples. So what they are doing here to persuade their customers, their audiences are, they are providing free samples so that their work can be done. So they're convincing you to fill the survey and then they're also giving you free samples. They're trying to influence you from those free samples. Or sometimes you might have seen there are some stalls of noodle companies at different places, different public places. And then the noodle representatives, they might call you, they might request you to come to their stall, taste the noodle and give a review, right? So that is also persuading you to give a review, persuading you to like their product, right? So all these come under external persuasive messages, right? So any questions regarding external persuasive?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. So let's move on to another topic then. Now here you can see another one, that is the strategies for persuasive message. Now we understood what kind of messages we can have, whom we should send the message, right? But how do we write a persuasive message? How do we structure a persuasive message then? How to be persuasive in business? So for that, we need to follow these 4 points, right? Let me read this out. Know your readers, choose or develop benefits for the readers, make it easy for your reader to comply, and use 3 kinds of appeals, that is logos, pathos, ethos. So let's go through these. Now the first one is know your readers. To be persuasive, first we need to know who our readers are, who our customers are, who are the clients, who are the audiences, who are going to listen to us, right? So here, understand readers or receivers' values, interests, needs, so that you know what sort of appeal will work for you to succeed. So here in know your readers, we need to remember that our messages, they are not only written. Sometimes they might be verbal, sometimes it might be through radios, or sometimes it might be through advertisements, it might be through SMS, right? So you need to do a research about who your target audience are. Who is your TG? Who is your target group? Who are you trying to send the message to? So it bases on that. Now let's take an example. You have a program, you have an event on Buddha Purnima's day. Okay. You have an event on Buddha Purnima's day and you call a person who is an atheist. An atheist is a person who doesn't believe in any religion, right? So you call an atheist and you say that, do you know that Lord Buddha said this and this? So that is why we are keeping a function on Buddha Purnima's day. So we would like to invite you to our program. So do you think that atheist person will come to your program or would even care about your program? Not at all, right? Because an atheist, he doesn't care about any religion. So why should he come to your religious program? Right? So this is what I mean. You need to know your readers. Or let's say on the other hand, if you go to a Buddhist monk and tell him that we are keeping a program on Buddha Purnima's day related to Buddhism, please come. So that Buddhist monk will jump and run to your program because he's interested. So that is why we need to know the interest of our readers. Or sometimes you might you might just go to a village and distribute pamphlets to all the villagers regarding your product. You have described everything in long paragraphs, but let's say the villagers, they don't know how to read and write. So will that work again? No, they don't know how to read and write. How will they understand what you are trying to say? Again, you did not do a research there, right? So instead of writing long paragraphs and giving those pamphlets to the villagers, if you had shown them pictures, if you had shown them visuals, they would have understood more, right? So this is what we need to do to know our readers. We need to know who we are sending the message to, right? And how we are sending the message to them. We need to know what type of reader, what type of customer are they? Are they educated or not? Just like the villagers. For uneducated people in the village, we have to show visuals instead of sentences, right? Or are they very professional people? Are they very political people? Right? Some people, they might not want to be related to politics. Now, you cannot relate them, you cannot send them any message regarding political issues, right? Again, you will lose your customer. So we need to know their experience, we need to know the readers, the customers' taste, their preferences. And that is how you can earn more and more readers, more and more customers and clients, right? So this is the first point. Now the second point here is choose and develop benefits for the readers. So when does a person get persuaded? When we see some benefits, when we see that we can have some advantage. Nobody would come without any advantage, right? People have their own works. People are busy in their own lives. So they will only be interested in you and your product if they see some advantage in that, right? So how will you show them the advantage? You have to give them the benefits, right? So you can see there in the example, save money, get some objects, make life easier, gain prestige. So what you're doing here in this example is you're saying, come and save money. Or you might say, buy this 1,000 rupees product for 400 today. Now, what will people think? People will see the benefit there. People will think the product was 1,000 rupees, but today it's only 400. I will save 600 rupees. So that is a benefit for me. That is an advantage. I will go and get that product. So this is how you can create a benefit for your customers. And in the last line, you can see, make sure what benefits readers from the message they get, right? That is known as scenario painting. So please note down this word scenario painting. It's kind of important there for you. So scenario painting is just like you are trying to show the benefits. Now, when you show or when you give advertisements regarding your product, you show people, you show your audiences what can happen due to your product, right? You are showing them a hypothetical situation in which they are enjoying your product, in which they are getting lots and lots of benefits from your product. So that is scenario painting. You are creating a scenario in their mind that your product is the best, that your product will give them advantages. And that is known as scenario painting. Now let me give you examples for developing benefits. Now here, let's see. What is this? This is a box of cream, right? So an advertisement might say, wear this cream and your skin will be soft. So what is the benefit there? What is the benefit of the product? Is it soft skin? Right? Yes, Archana, soft skin, right? So wear this product, wear this cream, and you will get maybe fair skin. So again, the benefit will be fair skin. And people will think, yes, I will have an advantage. I will have softer skin. So I need to buy this product. So again, this cream is showing the advantage to the customers, right? Now, another example could be here. Now you see a person there and a bag of money, right? So let's say the company writes a letter to the staff, and the company says that, okay, dear staff, you work for 3 more hours, 3 extra hours, and we will increase your salary by 10%. So what is the benefit for the staff there?
In
Increase of salary by 10%, right? That's the benefit. So the staff will obviously be okay. The staff will start to calculate, make an imaginary thought that, okay, my salary is maybe 10,000 today. It will be increased by 10%. Oh yes, my salary will be increased. So I will do 3 hours extra work. So that is the benefit there. Or sometimes now when you go to different events, when you have invitations, they might say that, okay, please attend our program and we will provide you certificates. Attend our program and we will provide you token of appreciations. Or sometimes there might be annual functions of companies, of banks, organization, and they say that if you come and attend the program, we have arranged a dinner party for you. Or if you attend our program, we will hand you envelopes. So what are the benefits there? They're trying to pull their customers, pull the audience. They're saying that we'll give you certificates. See, if you come, there is a dinner party if you come. We are handing over envelopes. So all these are the benefits the audiences can get. And this is how a company and organization, they can pull their customers, pull the audience and readers more. See? So this is what happens. So any questions regarding choose and develop benefits? Okay, so just remember that if you have a product, if you have a service, you always have to show the benefit, the advantage your company, your product can give to the people. Without showing that you can give some advantage or benefit, nobody will come to you. You have to show something. You have to attract them, showing the advantages they can get. And also, just like scenario painting, you can make hypothetical situations and you can show them what advantage they can get in the future. All right. So this was point number 2. In the third point, make it easy for your readers to comply. So this point is solely based on language. So here you can see, give short and clear instructions to readers how they can act. So give short and clear instructions, write in a simple words. If you complicate your words, if you complicate your sentence, write difficult words, people will not be able to understand. And when people are not able to understand, you will start to lose customers and audiences, right? Now there in the example, you can see how to buy product. Sometimes you might just give an advertisement on how to buy your product. Go to this shop or go to let's say Daraz, and then you can find our product there. Now if you say, if you want to buy our product, come searching for the Daraz let's say branch in Darar Marg, and then you can come up to us, you fill a form, do this and do that. That is very complicated, right? So you need to make your readers understand quickly and easily. And in the next point, give money for fundraising campaign. So if you are asking for money from people, this is for a fundraising campaign, this will help poor children, this will help hungry children, people will quickly give you some fund, give you some donations, right? So this is how it works. Do not make people confused. Do not confuse your readers. Do not complicate things for your audiences. Give exact details and give proper instructions, clear instructions, right? So this is what it means. Make it easy for your readers to comply so that they can easily understand and act on it, right? And now the fourth point, this is use 3 kinds of appeal properly, that is logos, pathos, ethos. So these 3 things, logos, pathos, ethos, this was developed 2500 years ago by a Greek philosopher named Aristotle. Right? So what he did was he created these three things: logos, pathos, ethos, and he said that if we use this in our life or in business communication for persuasion and convincing, this is going to help a lot. But what does this mean? Right? So what this means is, let me show you here. In middle, you can see persuasion, and there are logos, ethos, pathos. So logos, they mean logic and reasoning. Whenever you are trying to persuade, give logic, give good reasoning, give facts and figures. It means that. The next one, ethos. Ethos means ethics, trust, authority. Show people that you are ethical. Show people that they can trust you. That is how you can persuade. And the third one, pathos, the other thing how you can persuade is make them emotional, bring beliefs. If people have emotions and feelings towards your product, again, they can be convinced and persuaded. So these are the three things, logos, pathos, and ethos, how they can work. And whenever we are trying to convince or persuade our audience or persuade anybody, we can use any one of these, logos, pathos, ethos, or we can even use more than one. We can use all if possible. I will show this to you, how logos, ethos, and pathos are used in various kinds of advertisements. All right. But let's go to this first. Here. Please remember this. This is very easy to remember through pictures. On the left side, ethos, appeal by ethics. Show that you are ethical. Show that you are the winner. Show that you are the best based on ethics. Let them trust you, right? In the middle, pathos, appeal by emotion. Try to make your audience, try to make your customers and clients emotional. This is how, again, you can grab their attention and you can pull them towards you and your product, right? And the next one is logos, appeal by logic. Show them real reasons, show them facts and figures, give them reasons, be logical. This is again how you can grab the attention of your customers, right? So here there are a few examples for logos, pathos, and ethos. For here, logos, appeal to logic, is a way of persuading an audience with reason using facts and figures. We've already understood that. There is an example there. The data is perfectly clear. Our product has the largest number of satisfied customers for the last 5 consecutive years. So here what you are doing is you are giving exact facts and figures. You are giving numbers. You are saying your product had the largest number of satisfied customers. Then when? Was it only yesterday? No. For the last 5 consecutive years. See? So for the last 5 consecutive years, so many people, thousands of people have been using your product and they are satisfied. So when a new customer reads this or hears this, that person will be convinced that 5 long years, so many customers already, and they are satisfied. So this must be good. They are convinced in that way, right? This is through logos. The next one is for pathos. Pathos are appeal to emotion. Bring emotion to your customers and audiences. So pathos is a way of convincing an audience of an argument by creating an emotional response to an impassioned plea or a convincing story. So you can give an emotional story to grab the attention of your customers. So here in this example, you can see there is no price that can be placed on peace of mind. Our advanced security system will protect the well-being of your family so that you can sleep soundly at night. So where is the pathos here? Where is the emotion here in these sentences? Peace of mind, right? So what you are doing in this sentence is you are saying, we can give you a peace of mind. We can make you relaxed. We can make you stress-free. And the next one is, our advanced security system will protect the well-being of your family. Now, if you choose us, if you choose our security system, your family will be in good hands. There will be a well-being of your family. So that's emotional. You are trying to bring their family So if you want your family to be secured in protection, if you want the safety of your family, you have to keep our security system. So again, there is emotion here, right? And the next one, ethos. Ethos is appeal to ethics, making the customers trust you, making your audience trust you. So ethos is a use as a medium of convincing an audience via the authority or credibility of the persuader, be it a notable or experienced figure in the field or even a popular celebrity, right? So what this means is you have to base on appeals. You have to gain the confidence of your customers. You have to gain the trust of your customers. So in the example here, you can see, if you are still unsure, please consider that my advanced degree and fieldwork speaks for themselves. So what you're doing this is, you're showing your credibility. You're telling your audience that, trust me, I have advanced degree. I have done so much field work, so I am very authentic, right? Just give me a second, please. I have a okay, I'm sorry. So here what I was trying to tell you is, in ethos, you give credibility. Maybe sometimes you can show other people's credibility. Maybe you can bring a celebrity and promote your product. Now, when people see that product with a celebrity, they will think that, oh, this famous celebrity uses this product, so it must be authentic. It must be good, right? So that is why people will again start to believe in you. People will have trust in your product. So this is how ethos work. Okay, so this is pathos, logos, and ethos. So any questions here regarding the three kinds of appeal?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're clear, right? That's great.